Hello, this is me taking apart this particular hard drive. It's a particularly old one. It's, as you might be able to notice, an IDE interface, only 40 gigabytes, which for its time would have been quite something. And so the first thing I'm going to do is to remove this. There's a seal around the whole thing. I don't mean the animal, I mean the tape. Now this is to keep the whole thing hermetically sealed, because we mustn't get any air inside. So see, it's quite something. Right, that's the first bit off. Okay, now I'll try and get the next tape all the way around. Hopefully this will all come off in one easy movement. So it's hermetically sealed because the disc and the head are extremely close to one another, so much so that even one speck of dust could ruin it. So we will see if we can get rid of this. There we are. That's the tape all removed. Now should be a case of removing the screws. Put them in a neat pile. You never know, you might need to put it back together again. Now, the fact that I'm just doing this in my home and not in a clean room means that I don't ever expect to turn this thing on ever again. Right, let's see if that's it. Oh, there's a little bit of sticky holding it together, but I can feel it is coming. Yeah, there we are. And there we have it. There you can see. So here we have our hard drive, which is actually parked in the centre, which is a bit unusual. So normally this thing would, in most modern drives, this one is parked there. There's a little bit of magnetism there that's making it stick, so the idea is that this would rotate. You can actually hear it touching, can't you? This would rotate, and as it accesses different parts of the disc, it picks up the magnetic heads here, pick up. Now this one only has, I don't know if you can see that, only has one disc. So there is a head on the top, and you can't really see that, but there's a head underneath too. And they're both moved with this arm that, and there's this mechanism here which will park it, so that the idea is probably parks just there, so that's held in place like that. when it's on, it doesn't lock anywhere else, so that is where it locks. Move, and then unparked means it can access. So yeah, hard drives always used to and still do park. Sometimes the head actually comes completely off and goes into a little tray here, but this particular one doesn't have that. So that's it, that's a hard drive. That's a spinning disc, the head, magnetic coating, an aluminium disc, mechanism to move this head's assembly backwards and forwards as this spins to pick out the various data on the drive. There we have it. Okay, this is a smaller hard disk than before. It is a 2.5 inch, whereas this one here is a 3.5 inch. You can see they're considerably bigger. That's considerably thicker. This would have been in a laptop, whereas this was from desktop. This has an IDE interface with power, and what's great about these is they would generally in a laptop slot in, and one connector would make, so you didn't have two connectors like this one, you just had the one, which was very good. So I have already taken this one apart, and hence found there was a hidden screw. So let's do this again. Screws. Right, let's peel this off. Notice there's a little sticker there, so that is, you can see the seal around the edge here, and this bit here, that's to equalise the pressure, different barometric. So some people think that these were under a vacuum. Not so, they were atmospheric pressure. You don't want them under a vacuum because any tiny leaks would suck air in and possibly some other nasties with it. You don't want that. You can see here, maybe you can see, there are two discs in this one, that one and that one. And so this would have spun like this, and the head would have moved backwards and forwards. You can see this one has a parking, so when the heads aren't in use they would sit there, which would make them a bit more robust. They're not likely to move around while you're lugging your laptop around, but when the power comes on then this moves out of the park position so it can start reading various parts of the disk as it spins around. There we are, there's not much more to say about this. Again, we've got 4 surfaces, so there will be 4 different heads. The top one for this head, then there's the one underneath that head, the lower part, then there's the top of the bottom one, and then there's the bottom of the bottom head. So, there we have it. Much smaller, much neater, and this one was a, what was it? Spun at 5,400 RPM, and that was a 60 gigabyte. So actually a bigger capacity than the bigger one, but this is slightly newer. Okay, so there we have it. A 3.5 8-inch hard drive disassembled. Thank you.